You've sat in a tire shop waiting room before. You watched the guy behind the counter pull up your car on his screen, click through a few options, and recommend a set of tires. Maybe he said Michelin, maybe he said Goodyear, maybe he pointed you toward whatever brand was on sale that week. You bought them. You trusted him. Here's what he didn't tell you. Those aren't the tires on his car. The mechanics who rotate tires for a living, who patch blowouts, who pull worn-down rubber off rims every single day. They don't go home and buy what they sell you. They buy something else. Something quieter, longer lasting, and almost always cheaper. This video is about that tire. Not one tire, several. The brands that people who actually understand rubber, tread compounds, and real-world wear put on their own vehicles when nobody's paying them a commission to recommend anything. You're not going to find this at the shop counter. You're going to find it here. Before you get the list, you need to understand why this gap exists in the first place. Tire shops don't make the same margin on every brand. Premium brands, Michelin, Pirelli, Continental, carry higher retail prices, which means the shop can charge more. The mechanic behind the counter isn't necessarily trying to cheat you. He's selling what the shop stocks, what the shop promotes, and what the shop makes money moving. That's not the same as what performs best at the price point. When a mechanic buys tires for his own truck, the equation changes entirely. There's no commission, no inventory to move, no manager checking which brand he's pushing this week. It's just him, his money, and what he actually knows about how tires wear in the real world. And what he knows from spending 40 hours a week handling tires in every condition is that brand recognition and brand performance are not the same thing. You've probably noticed that some of the most heavily advertised tire brands don't show up on any of the serious third-party wear tests. You've probably also noticed that some brands you've never heard of score near the top. That's not an accident. It's a market where marketing budgets and manufacturing quality are completely separate conversations. Mechanics know which brands cut corners on tread compound. They know which ones look good on paper and wear down fast on the road. They know which brands have consistent quality control and which ones are a gamble depending on where the tire was made. That's the knowledge you're about to get access to. First up is Falken. You've probably walked past Falken at the shop without thinking twice. It doesn't have the ad budget of Michelin. It doesn't sponsor the racing events that get televised on Sunday afternoons. What it has is a Sumitomo Rubber Industries manufacturing backbone, one of the largest and most technically advanced tire manufacturers in the world, and a price point that sits $30 to $50 below comparable Michelin and Continental options per tire. Mechanics buy Falken because they've seen how it wears. The Falken Azenis and the Wildpeak AT3W show up repeatedly in independent tread life tests with wear rates that outperform tires costing significantly more. If you drive a truck or an SUV and you're buying Falken Wildpeak AT3W, you're buying what a significant portion of off-road mechanics put on their own vehicles. Next is Cooper. Cooper has been manufacturing in the United States since 1914. It's not a budget brand dressed up as a mid-tier option. It's a genuine domestic manufacturer with decades of compound development behind it. Goodyear acquired Cooper in 2021, which means Cooper now has access to Goodyear's research and development infrastructure while maintaining its own manufacturing identity. What mechanics value in Cooper is consistency. You're not gambling on batch quality. The CS5 Grand Touring and the Discoverer AT3 show up in long-term wear data with tread life numbers that regularly beat more expensive alternatives. You get a tire that performs close to premium for $60 to $80 less per set. After that, Hankook, this one surprises people. Hankook is a South Korean manufacturer with over 80 years in the tire industry, and it supplies original equipment tires to BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Audi, and Porsche. Let that land for a second. The same tire company that luxury automakers trust to come standard on their vehicles is available to you at a fraction of the cost of the premium aftermarket options those same dealerships sell. Mechanics who work on European imports buy Hankook because they've seen the OEM spec data. The Hankook Ventus line competes directly with Continental and Pirelli in independent wet braking and dry handling tests, and it comes in consistently cheaper. You're not buying a knockoff. You're buying the same tier of manufacturer at a different retail position. Then there's Kumho. Kumho is another South Korean manufacturer that gets dismissed because it doesn't have Western brand recognition. That dismissal is a mistake. Kumho holds OEM contracts with Honda, Hyundai, and Kia. Its Solus line has appeared in Consumer Reports testing with scores that landed in the same tier as Bridgestone and Goodyear at prices 20 to 30% lower. The reason mechanics buy Kumho comes down to one word: value density. You're getting more tread life, more consistent wet performance, and more predictable wear patterns per dollar spent than you get from the brands that spend more on advertising than on compound development. And last on the list is Nexen. Nexen is the least familiar name here, and that's exactly why it belongs on this list. It's a South Korean manufacturer that has spent the last decade quietly building OEM relationships with Volkswagen, Renault, and Hyundai. It doesn't advertise. It doesn't sponsor events. It manufactures. The Nexen Enprise A8 and the Rodian ATX show up in fleet testing. The kind of testing where actual mileage data gets collected over hundreds of thousands of miles across thousands of vehicles, with wear numbers that put them in direct competition with tires costing $40 to $60 more per unit. Mechanics who manage fleet vehicles buy Nexen because the data tells them to, not because anyone told them the brand was good. Now, here's what all 5 of these brands have in common. None of them are household names the way Michelin or Goodyear are. None of them run Super Bowl commercials. None of them are the default recommendation at the shop counter. And every single one of them has OEM contracts with major automakers or deep independent test data backing their real-world performance. That's not a coincidence. That's a market structure. The tire industry works like a lot of industries where brand recognition gets built through marketing spend rather than through product performance. The brands that win on name recognition invest in visibility. The brands that win on actual performance invest in manufacturing instead. Mechanics sit at the intersection of both worlds. They see what comes in on the cars that never break down, and they see what comes in on the cars that do. Over time, the data speaks for itself, not in a showroom, not in an ad, but in how a tire actually wears after 20,000 miles of real driving. Here's how you use this. When you walk into a tire shop, you're going to hear a recommendation. You don't have to reject it. What you should do is ask one question. Do you carry Falken, Cooper, Hankook, Kumho, or Nexen? If the answer is yes, ask for a price comparison on the specific model that fits your driving pattern. If you drive mostly highway miles, Hankook Ventus or Kumho Solus is where your money goes the furthest. If you drive a truck or an SUV with any off-road exposure, Falken Wildpeak AT3W or Cooper Discoverer AT3 are the options mechanics reach for first. If you want the broadest value across all conditions with the least risk, Cooper CS5 Grand Touring has the longest consistent track record of any brand on this list. You don't have to spend Michelin money to drive on Michelin quality rubber. You just have to know which names to ask for. The next time you're sitting in that waiting room, you're going to think about this differently. The guy behind the counter isn't your enemy. He's working a system. He's selling what the shop tells him to sell. At the margin, the shop needs to stay open. That's fine. That's business. But now you know what he knows. You know which brands show up in the independent wear tests. You know which manufacturers supply OEM rubber to the same automakers charging you $50,000 for a car. You know which names mechanics write on their own receipts when nobody's watching. Falken, Cooper, Hankook, Kumho, Nexen, 5 brands, all available at most major tire shops and online retailers, all carrying real performance data behind them, all sitting in a price range that leaves money in your pocket after the install. You came into this video thinking tire shopping was a guessing game. It's not. It's just a game that's easier to win when you know what the people who do this for a living already figured out. Now you do. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button for more videos every week.